I keep the book handy. And
well, I'm on the MyCom this morning. So.
Sounding good.
Yep. MyCon does a nice job.
Does. What are you on this morning, Sue?
Yeah, I'm on the ICOM this morning.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sounds good. We got a lot of static crashes.
We do?
Yeah, the S-meter never even settles down here where I could get a reading on what the quiet time is. The steady, not huge ones, but it's jumping the needle up. Pop. I think it's an S5, that steady state. But there's spikes that jump it up to 9. Boom. And it's time for me to refill my coffee. I'll be right back.
Oh, yeah. I'm almost down to the bottom of my cup here.
But I'll leave them. I'm listening.
Yeah, me too.
Got my headphones on. Sure makes it nice.
It does make it nice, doesn't it?
It sure does.
There's no other way to operate.
Now, once I made this box circuit, boy, I can use the MyCom.
Oh, that's right. You got a Vox now there.
Yes, you do. Cup refilled, heading back out. Traveling across the garage, heading for the shack. I have to get out here and spray. The daddy long legs are getting affected.
Yeah, making the same trek, only just going into another room as part of the garage.
Yes, I know where you're at, Joe, and where you're going.
Yeah, it's not as far as yours, but you must have had motivation. You got to yours and back faster.
Maybe, I don't know. I just rolled over there and strolled back. Had to open 2 doors and close. Days are getting shorter.
Yeah, I think I noticed that too, Denny.
This morning, first trek across the garage, you got to turn the light on the opener.
Yeah, I noticed it's not as bright in the room in the morning.
Plus, we got the smoke covering, so.
Yeah, that could be.
Well, I feel pretty good this morning.
So do I.
But when I got up, my blood sugar was a little low. I had to eat a couple of 4 glucose tablets and a cheese stick.
Oh, well, I can't say the same thing. My biggest issue was I ended up with like 5 phone calls since 10 o'clock last night, but, that's just the way it is sometimes.
Sure wish I could get over and visit you, Dan. I'd sure like to see your place.
You're always welcome, Denny.
Fun and visit Bud.
Yeah. Bring your camper down.
Oh, yeah, it's on the truck all summer, so.
No, I mean, if you come down, we got a place you can park and plug in.
That's great. And keep the refrigerator running off gas anyway.
Yeah. I leave my trailer plugged in all the time. Just park yours out by mine, and I just give you the plug to mine.
Oh, well, that'd be great. But, in fact, I'm good for boondoggling, because with my handy-dandy solar panel, it keeps the battery up just beautiful.
Yeah, I'd like to do that to my camper, too.
Weren't cheap, but it's working good.
Yeah, they're getting cheaper all the time.
Yeah, they are. This is the new monosolidum crystals, or whatever they call it, that they charge pretty good, even when it's shaded. Yeah,
that's nice.
I think the kit cost me $300, and I got it from a place called ZAMP, Z-A-M-P Solar in Grants Pass, Oregon, which is just up the road.
Well, $300 ain't that much. Look how much the generator cost.
Oh, yeah, and I got a generator, too, but then I don't have to run it.
Yeah, I have a generator, and it's nice, but I'd rather, if I just need to charge the battery, I'd rather use a solar panel.
Yeah, I do too. And it's always charging out there, and then the controller is really good, and it goes into float charge and does all those tricks with the battery to maintain them. And
yeah, that's nice.
Does an excellent job.
Of course, if I want to run the microwave or make coffee, I have to start the generator anyway, but most of the time you don't do that.
You all take care, and I will see you all tomorrow morning. Hopefully, what's his name will be tomorrow. So on that note, it's okay, and I'll be fine.
Yeah, you betcha. Have a great day, and we'll wish you our best 73. See you in the morning, hopefully.
Okay, see you in the morning, Sue. Yeah, you got quite a bit weaker for some reason. The conditions aren't very good. Well, look for you tomorrow, W6DAX.
See you later, Sue. Have a good day. I'm going to...
Have a good one. Everybody take care.
That was better, that transmission.
Yep. And Bud, you're holding in pretty good. Dan is a really good copy, and got John, you're voice of God.
I was looking at Dan's live streaming. That is pretty slick what you're getting out of the 7300 with that $50 program.
Isn't that pretty cool, John? It's a good value.
It really is. Now, can you take different parts of that out? Like if you wanted to not have the what do you call it? Equalizer portion on there?
Yeah, those are just different windows you could put up and off. Like I could take that out, and there's also like a terminal program you can put up to run CW with or RIDI. You can put that up. There's a DX cluster window. There's lots of different windows. Those are just the ones that I'm using right now.
Yeah, Danny, I think take a look at this. He'd like it. That's a great deal.
What is that, John?
Well, that's his ICOM 7300, which is what Dan's using.
Oh, yeah.
And then he's got a program for it that takes the IQ output out of it, and then gives you a big pan adapter, all of the controls for it, all on a screen.
Oh, cool.
So, you know, it now looks like a regular SDR.
I'll be darned. Forever.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, you know, and then the program itself will divide up the cat port on the radio so you can run logging programs with it, or, you know, the digital programs or whatever you want to use. You got a internal virtual serial port as well to control those programs. It's pretty cool. I've got all the audio and everything being controlled through one USB cable on it. Very simple to set up.
Yeah, that's what you like. I know that's what you'd like, Denny, is all simple.
Yeah, simple as possible. Yeah, that's great, Dan. Sounds really good.
Well, if you look on your phone, Denny, I sent you a text, and it's got a link to it, and you can view it at any time and see what I'm doing.
Okay, I'll take a look.
Probably enjoy watching a couple. At least you can listen to yourself.
Yeah.
You can see that you've got the biggest signal in the Washoe Valley.
Yeah, I think I got the biggest signal in Mount Shasta. I haven't heard anybody on HF here.
No?
No.
Well,
And don't see any antennas anywhere either.
I've got a guy down the street here, Richard, and he's loud, but we seem to stay out of each other's way. We do things all the time.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah, usually you can drive around the village and whatever, and I've just about been on every street here and look, and if it's now we spot a tri-bander or something up.
Boy, I saw a huge one when we drove through Curry Lake the other day. It looked like something Scott would own.
Over in Clear Lake?
Yeah. We drove by it. Boy, this thing it had at least a 30-foot boom, probably better. It was long. and it had probably 12 elements on it. It wasn't a log periodic. It was a real beam. It was probably a 40-meter beam, I guess.
That'd be big.
Yeah, it was pretty dang cool.
Well, if it had 12 elements on it, it's a multi-band beam. Maybe it's like an X11. That's about where they are. That's actually a pretty good beam for the buck, you know.
Yeah, you know, John, I think it was a multi-band beam with the lowest frequency being 40 meters because it was huge.
Biggie. I haven't seen an antenna anywhere here except mine. My beauty.
The World Radio Championships last week. World Radio Championships last week, they used a spider beam for all their stations.
That's great.
Yeah, those are pretty inexpensive antennas. They're 4-band antennas. They have a little gain on a couple of the bands.
Aren't those, they're like a hex beam, aren't they?
They are. They're similar to it. Not quite the same idea. You get a few less bands, but I think there's a little more gain out of it than a hex beam is the idea. Anyway, they were using those. You know, before they've always used like Force 12s or something. You know, just a traditional multi-bander.
Yeah. I've done a little more JT-8 occasionally. I've had a chance. I did a job for a water agency in Folsom this last week. And like yesterday, I got on 17 and late in the afternoon. I worked Serbia, Azores, Spain on 17, and then 20 I worked Sweden, Spain, and Kazakhstan, and someplace that isn't place in Russia that's not on QRZ.
You're just making me jealous, John, and I got to get my beam up when you talk like that.
Yeah, that's a piece of cake. It really is pretty easy. These are not, strong signals. That's what's so fun with this. You're not having to wait until the band is in great shape. The band's in lousy shape. You look at it, there's nobody on board.
Oh yeah, it's just the band is active again, and you just got to do it in a different way because of how bad the band is. But what you've been able to do on 6, John, is just downright impressive.
6, 6 seems to be pretty consistent, at least once or more during the day, and it's usually sometimes for hours in the afternoon. I don't know if that'll continue, but nobody really looked at it much until the FT8 came along.
Oh yeah, there wasn't really a way to do it. I made some JT-65 contacts in the past on 6, but there were very few. But it seems like the digital modes have just increased by tenfold. FT8 came along because
Shut up, Dan said. Bud said he gave you a 4-element 6-meter?
Yeah, it's sitting over here on the side of the house.
It's a nice beam.
Dan, we got to get that tower over here for you.
Yeah, we just got to pick a weekend, Bud.
I got to talk to Tim over there and see what his schedule is.
Yeah, okay.
Get that tower, and I got my 6-meter beam over in place too. Yeah, it'll work definitely better. I'm still amazed these guys that have 6-meter EMEA setups, and they're really serious about 6 meters with super long 35, 40-foot booms and multiple antennas. They got 15 dB gain. And then 1,500 watts. That's serious.
After you've had all your other goals on HF, 6 meters probably remains an indefinite challenge.
Yeah, I'm not going to invest anything else into it, though. It's just not something I'm going to do.
I'm happy using what I use. I am looking forward to when the hex beam's up, using 6 meters on that with some correction. That'll be nice.
Yeah, it seems like for my use, just running the repurposing the amp that we use for the repeaters seems to be fine. 300 watts is 300 watts seems to work fine.
Well, your station does so good on 6 meters, and you're so happy with it. I would be. I mean, there's not really needed to go any farther because you're not competing, just enjoying it.
Yeah, it's just fun. Most people hear me.
Yeah, I think it's a killer station on 6 meters.
Just a little 3-element beam. Heck, the beam wouldn't be anywhere near as long as your 4-element, I don't think.
You know what's fun about 6 meters is you're doing something that you don't normally do.
Yeah, it is different.
It's quiet. You can turn your preamps on and see the difference and see if they're effective or not.
Excuse me.
In fact, it's kind of fun to do it with my little dipole, John, realizing how small it actually is and how well it works.
Yeah, so you don't hear a lot of those stations that I'm hearing?
You get a lot more stuff than I do. I don't think it's just location. I think it's just your beam antenna is just really nice.
It's just 3 elements, kind of almost an afterthought, although they're individual elements on this beam on the thing. That Danny, now he's got the long boom version of what I have, and it's definitely better.
So,
What, bud?
Do you have that 4-element 6-meter beam up?
No, I don't. I've got my tri-bander actually has 6 meters on it. It's actually not a tri-bander. It's a 4-bander.
Oh, okay. So it's part of the other beam.
Yeah. It's 3 elements.
5, isn't it?
But they work pretty well. I have your 4-element beam. It's disassembled yet. And I got that one from Sam, that one that you had. Or you gave to Dan.
That worked pretty good, too.
Yeah, that was all riveted together, though. It was hard to disassemble. Kelly brought it up on his lumber rack on his truck.
No, you brought it over to the house on that's not your truck, my house. I guess that was originally, wasn't it?
No, it was Sam's. That was Sam's. Yeah, he gave me that and a big push-up, which I left. But push-up with a straight piece of pipe on it too, plus the push-up.
So your antenna is a 6-band antenna, the one you've got. What is it, the 53XL?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
And does it have 3 elements on 6 or 4?
3. Well, there's double in the feed elements, though, so actually it would be, the 2 phased.
That still counts as 1, so it's 3
so that's 1 element, and then you got a reflector and a director.
That's what mine has.
Yeah. And the only problem was when they when they did the instructions for the bigger beam, they use a spacing for the smaller beam, which is it wouldn't work out. I had to go and measure each spacing right and said not use their color codes for the 6-meter portion because they were off. But I had the element spacing. I did that. Otherwise, it ended up with one of the elements right on top of one of the other elements. You couldn't put it in.
Yeah. It's pretty short. I mean, on my 14-foot boom, I don't think the 6-meter portion takes up half of it.
Yeah, it's not very big. Then you can get a 40-meter rotating dipole to go on it, too.
Oh, yeah, I could do that, too.
I could, but 40 meters is pretty much unusable here. There is something here that generates burst noise every 5 seconds or so. And it's not in the house because I turned power off here completely. Somewhere in the neighborhood.
What kind of noise is it?
It's regular repeating and goes. But it's not electric fencer. I know what they sound like.
It's not a ticking sound.
No. I know what electric fencers sound like. But the other place we lived in, the guy across the street, I could tell as soon as he put one in. Tuck, tuck. And I went over and talked to him. I said, "Did you put electric fencer in?" He said, "Yes." I said, "Well, it's putting out radio interference." Didn't make him very happy, but he did. I don't know what he did. He disconnected or something. He didn't have cattle or anything. No, it's a and then a few milliseconds, a little spacing, and then and it just keeps on and on and on. In the mornings, a lot of time it's not there, but it's from about the time of the noontime net on, it's there. So I haven't figured out what the heck that is.
And does it move, or is it a fixed thing?
It's kind of fixed, right around 40. But no, I take that back. It's fairly band wide, actually. A lot of times I'll have like the helicopter on, SS101E on, and A rather on, and while I'm working in here doing some project or something, I'll just be listening in the background. You know, once I get it stabilized where it doesn't drift. I'll listen to the nets or whatever. Otherwise, I have the computer on listening to music. But I'm working. This is Whiskey Baker 7 Echo Golf Golf Mount Shep.
W6DAX, Placerville.
AM 60Q. You know, I had an interesting thing happen this week on the internet.
I was just going to ask that.
Easy to push a button and turn it on.
Yeah, same with me. I checked the antenna last night, and it's flat. Almost zero reflected power, so.
Yeah, I'm going through the tutor here, and I'm 0 power too, reflected.
Yeah, something is screwy, though. I don't understand it. There's a impedance somewhere on this. I checked the feed lines and everything over, made sure there was no broken, you know, where I had it spliced. Everything looked. But it's changed. Well, I haven't tried it this week, other than I just checked it last night, and I didn't have to adjust it at all. It was right on. So. Zero reflected. So.
Any trees nearby?
Oh, it's hooked on trees. Each end is hooked to a tree, and the center section goes through a brace on a tree.
Maybe it's a smoke sensor.
Yeah, that could be. I know I am. And I used to smoke them dang things. That was a long time ago. That was 99. I give them up, and that was it, finally. I did it in time so far because they said my lungs are right back to normal. There's.
How's Lida doing? You still have a lot of problems?
Got a lot of asthma trouble with this smoke. She can't hardly go outside. She's got one of the masks that, a box of them that will catch the particulate matter that comes in this.
Yeah, you know they got a lot of plastic burning and going into the air. That's not good.
Yeah, sure. And all those houses that burnt down there. Over 1,000 structures down there in Redding area.
Yeah, it's really
pretty bad with all that stuff flowing into the air.
You know, where the old hospital is, across the river, and all those homes out in there and all that, they're gone.
I know, that's really sad.
Yeah. But it didn't get to the shopping part of Reading, so I felt sorry for him, you know, but for the grace of God, there go we. Same deal, could happen any time. Anyway, do you think anybody got anything planned exciting for today?
Oh, I gotta go to a funeral here this morning.
Oh, that's not much fun.
Oh, lady at our church passed away. Sorry to hear that, bud.
Yeah, me too.
You know, she was suffering from a lot of problems over the past few years, so in some ways it's really a blessing.
Yeah, if you're not well, we have a friend in the SIRS group here, and she's my age, this gal, and she'd never been sick a day in her life. And her mom will be 100 next year up in Canada. Got good genes, and so does she. Never has a cold, nothing wrong with her, and a feisty little gal, a lot of fun. She's my age. Her birthday's in July, mine's in June. Same year, 61. But she's like a classmate. But her mom is, you know, up there and still puts on her own makeup and everything, so.
Oh, that's classic. Speaking of that, this is hot August night week, what they call it smoky hot night week.
It should be barbecued hot August night.
Oh, I thought that was all over.
I did too.
This is the last weekend for it. Pretty much during the week. This is the last weekend. Isn't that right, Dan?
Yeah, it runs 2 weekends.
I heard that was kind of taken over by gangs here the last few years.
I know they've had some trouble. I haven't gone down the last couple of years.
I think there's quite a few people not attending anymore.
Oh, I can understand. That's terrible. That was always kind of a landmark. Go see the old cars and all that. A lot of fun.
I think the last 2 years in a row they had shootings.
Oh, dear.
You know, between gang members, and somebody ended up dying. And then I think 3 years ago they got in another shooting, and then the guy jumped on a motorcycle, and somebody else chased him all the way down to Truckee and shot him off the bike.
Oh, for God's sake.
Yeah, my son-in-law and daughter were up staying at North Star in Tahoe, and they went over to, Virginia City, and they had something over there last weekend.
Yeah, Virginia City has an event about every weekend during the summertime, I think.
Oh, dear, dear.
But I won't go down this weekend either. We're not all I got going on is I have a friend coming over, bringing his daughter. She's a contest fiddle player, and we're going to do a little practicing. He's going to play a set at the Bluegrass Festival here in Bowers, so need to work on it a little bit.
Oh, at Bowers Mansion?
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be nice.
That's coming up next weekend. So, anyway, she's 12 years old, and she's a very good contest fiddle player, travels the country. And it'd be my honor to play rhythm guitar for her while she does her set.
Wow, that's amazing. 12 years old.
Oh, yeah, she's great. So that's my plan, is just practice with her for a few hours this morning and stay out of town. I'm not going anywhere.
I'm going to a birthday party down in Folsom. The kid's high-size birthday party that she's going to have it at a park in Folsom.
That sounds nice.
That's just a couple hours plus travel time.
That sounds kind of nice. Of course, you're going to get warm down there.
Well, you know, I was working down there day before yesterday, all day. It was like 103, and it doesn't bother me at all, so that's cool.
Yeah, that is nice. I ride my motorcycle every day because heat doesn't bother me because I'm not only in it for maybe a half hour.
That's understandable. Good for you, Dan.
Yeah, it's enjoyable.
I love doing the signal testing and stuff, so that's what I was doing.
Oh, pretty cool, John.
And I got back and I thought, you know, the levels were not what I expected them to be, and I'd ordered an antenna from Tesco. Actually before I left on vacation to Tahiti there, I ordered this antenna, and then when I got back, it wasn't here. It was supposed to be here in 3 days. So I told the daughter to look out for the box and put it inside. So I was wondering what was going on, and I checked, and they had shipped it. And I ordered it specific for frequency, and I ordered one that was 173 megahertz center frequency. And so, you know, the whole day testing, the numbers were just low. The signal level numbers that were going between the transmit antenna we set up at their reservoir on a pole and all the field measurements. I got back, I thought, you know what, I'm going to set up a test range here between my place and the one next door, about 300 feet away. And first thing I did was I checked SWR, and it was like at least 50% reflected, so I knew, oh no. And I got out some measurements, and they had sent me, and not told me, that they had sent me a field tunable version of the same antenna because they didn't have the one I wanted. And so, unwittingly, I'd gone down there, I'd assembled the antenna, thinking it was the one I paid for. And it was really 150 megahertz antenna instead of 173.
Oh, no.
I went ahead and set up a range with a transmitter, precisely. And then, you know, set it up like I had been for the testing, you know, on a tripod with the beam, just the way it was. Took a measurement with service monitor to the 10th of the dB, and then took the antenna down and put all the elements to the proper length, put it back together, and then took another measurement, and the difference between the two was 13.6 decibels. So I'll subtract that from the readings, and all of them get in the range where I thought they should have been. But what a pain.
Oh boy, well at least I'm glad you were able to use the prior readings and correct them.
Well, yeah, I needed to use it just like it was, and then go ahead and make it right, and then measure it again to see what the difference is. So, I mean, that works. That's great. So really what the beam was a directed attenuator. It was supposed to have about 6 dB gain, and it, in fact, had 13.6 dB loss.
Oh, boy.
Golly.
Well, I guess next time, at least you have an antenna that you can tune for whoever your customer is.
It's a one-time. You cut it, and that's it. It's going to be where it is. You know, it's their solid rod.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
They're threaded in the middle, so you have to measure from the middle on each side, take the overall measurement, cut it in half, and then measure out, mark, and cut.
Oh, okay.
God.
But anyway, it's done, and I've got the antenna which is in the range that I need it to be for, you know, for the VHF testing. Up until this last job, I always used a spare antenna that the customer had for the measurement, because then you're using what they have. But in this case, they didn't have one, so I needed to provide it.
Yeah, you know, you get in those frequency range, if you're off by 20 megahertz, you really don't notice it just looking at it physically.
Yeah, what you're talking, I mean, it is substantial. It was, each element was, well, the reflector was 2.75 inches, a change of 2.75 inches on either side of center.
Yeah, that's not something you would really notice just by looking at it.
As you went towards the director, the final director, but it, I just knew there was something wrong. In fact, I pulled my my measurement out just to see that I'd assembled, you know, while I was doing it. In fact, after like the second measurement, I pulled it out and measured to make sure I put the driven element not reversed.
Yep.
Correctly. It was just the legs were all wrong.
One of those things where you're doing something, you just got kind of a settled thought the whole time. Something's not right, but you keep doing it anyway.
Well, there's no choice at that point. You had to go on. So yeah, the only thing I could do is what I did, or stop, and then reschedule this. And there's, you know, they'd schedule 2 people's time.
Yeah.
But this will work fine. That puts it all where it should be.
Well, I'm going to break in here a minute and say my 73s and kind of get the day going here. And it's been great this morning talking to everybody. And I wish Sue would have been a little stronger, but she was okay. So everybody take care. Have a good Saturday, and we'll, Lord willing, catch you tomorrow morning. WB7EGG, Mount Shasta will be clear and 73 stall.
Danny, and I got a few on here too, and you're ready to go to the funeral. So we'll talk to y'all in the morning, God willing. So 73 all. Have a good day. W6JT. See you guys later. Great talking to you. Look for you tomorrow.
See you later, bud. See you later, Danny. You guys have a great day.
73, W6JT. You too, Dan.
73, WB7EGG.
Yeah, 73 to you too. Cam 60Q.
You know, after looking at what you've got going there with the 7300, the addition of that little program, it makes it usable. I mean, if something did happen to the one I'm using and here, I might consider just going that direction, because it does everything you need it to do.
Yeah, I think if I was starting out again with SDR, I'd probably just do this maybe. It works so well.
Yeah, it's inexpensive.
Yeah, and it's very effective. And, you know, the big plus side to it all, besides what you see on the screen, you get a virtual serial port with it that you can create what you need and run all your other programs at the same time with it.
Yeah, that's huge.
Yeah, and it works the first time. You don't have to configure it. You just put what COM ports you want it to be on, and it figures the rest out.
Oh yeah, because that's a real pain. It was a real pain for me, as you know, to get all this working. It's great that it does work now. No, I'm having a ball with it, but you know, the initial work was a pain.
Yeah, this makes it very, very simple. I was surprised how quick it's set up, and it'll run all the programs that I use. So, and you can run multiple ones at one time. So that's pretty cool, John.
Yeah, I think it is.
Like if I'm running FT8 or something, I'll bring up my that program, and I'll also bring up my logging program, and this radio program will apply all the data to it needs.
So you can still do exactly what you're doing on the 6600 then.
Yep, exactly. It does it all.
That's a real bargain. I wonder, do you think that ICOM realized what somebody would do when they put out the 7300?
I don't know. They've been at it a long time. This program's been around for quite a while. I think for about 5 years now. Because I bought my KX3, it was available. Because it works on all the Elecraft radios. It was only built for Elecraft radios. And I'm just guessing, but I think the guy decided there was enough users of the 7300, it'd be worth setting up a version for the 7300. Because it works on their 7300 and their new 7610. So I don't know. He's probably got quite a few users. I'm just guessing, though.
Yeah, it makes the 7610 very questionable since you can get this on it.
Yeah, you know, I don't really see a reason to buy a 7610 unless you think you really got to have two, you know, analog to digital converters with two antenna ports, because I don't, you know, the difference in performance I would never see for what I do.
Yeah, of course I don't need the two ADCs. That's why I got rid of my 100D.
Yeah, it's what's interesting is ICOM's program is twice the money and it's extremely limited. And I know a lot of operators have bought that, and you really don't get much with that. You get basically a radio control screen that you can use remotely, and that's pretty much the feature.
Yeah, I wonder if they'll do anything, if they can do anything to restrict the IQ output in future builds.
You would think they would want to, you know, to keep everything proprietary and then develop their software.
Yeah, boy. Yeah, there's so many people that have those, and I'll bet you that there aren't that many that are leveraging or even know how to leverage that feature.
I quit reading the 7300 reflectors because it's just not interesting. You know, most of the operators on there are still asking questions on, you know, antennas and SWR and tuners and, yeah, you know, just really, really, really basic stuff that's not interesting. So I don't know. That's why I really don't know how many operators are using this or not, because it might, you know, to me or you, it's nothing. It's just like technician level software, but to somebody not familiar with it, it'd probably be kind of intimidating.
Well, if you had a step-by-step, this is how you do it, that's all you need.
Well, you know, there's a lot of videos on this stuff, so, you know, the guy who makes this program has done all the video work, too, to show you how to set it up and what it's capable of, so that would probably be the answer to that. I think he's only had this version out for ICOM for about 2 months now. So it's still pretty new. He's had like 5 releases since he's put it out.
Okay.
And really, it does the same thing the Elecraft one does, but he's able to take advantage of the internal features in the 7300 and exploit them and put them out on the screen, like the audio scope and the spectrum scope. That's not available on the Elecraft side of this, but it is on the ICOM side. And in the radio itself, those are features that you can bring up on the screen and look at. So I suspect, since there was provisions for it for the radio itself, he was able to exploit that.
Yeah, boy, yeah, great idea. It's probably going to hopefully make him some good money for his effort.
I hope so. You know, the con to the whole thing is this is a one-guy team doing this, and at any time he could decide that he's out of business. And, but for now, it's a very good solution.
Yeah, it sure is. Yeah, I would definitely consider that today.
What's kind of neat is the contest software that I use, N1MM, has incorporated this or integrated part of it into their software. So when you bring up the N1MM contest software, you get the spectrum scope with a DX spotting on it that you can point and click in their software. So they've been able to utilize some of the stuff in the 7300 as well.
Yeah. Yeah, that's great. Hey, so you're using two screens just like you normally do?
Yeah, I am. None of that's changed. It just looks different.
That's good. Yeah. Yeah. That'd be just fine with me. When I do get on the air these days, it's gosh, I haven't gotten on voice in a long time. It's just FT8.
Yeah, it's a fun program. It keeps you interested in it. Yeah, when I get on and call CQ, I just usually use the voice keyer, you know, in the 7300, and I'll set an interval for 10 seconds, and I'll call really short CQs and let it run until somebody answers. Kind of takes the work out of it.
Yeah, that works. I can do that with the Anon as well.
Yeah, you know, Flex has not. Flex does that with CW, but they don't have a voice keyer yet. I don't think they do.
Yeah, I can do that. Yeah, and then CW has the CWX, so I think I've got, I don't know, 10 or more memories there that I do use.
Yeah, it's amazing, you know, compared to what we were doing 20 years ago, John.
Oh yeah, it really is. It makes things much easier.
Hey, you know what happened this week here on the internet, and it's at my location, is I guess my provider, Charter, has upgraded their service. It went from 60 megs a second to 115 megs a second download. And I don't know why, but it's been consistent since we've got back from vacation.
I don't want to hear it, Dan.
Yeah, I probably shouldn't have told you, but it's great.
Oh, man. I'm happy when it just works.
Yeah, you know, it's just a matter of time probably before they come up with a good solution for your area.
I doubt it.
You don't think they're motivated at all, huh?
At all.
Yeah.
We've approached them, you know, it's about 1,800 feet away where it is.
It's just not that far.
Yeah, no, it's a big dollar amount to extend it.
Well, it would be if you paid for it, but, you know, I don't know. They probably contract a crew to do it. They probably don't do it themselves.
Yeah, somebody has to. I think probably if everybody got together and approached them, you know, signed a paper that said, yeah, we'll take the service if you provide it, that might do it.
Yeah, it might be enough. It just somebody has to be the organizer.
Because they have that option, and it just works poorly. You know, maximum 3 megabytes per 3.2 something megabytes per second, and people just hang on and don't use it much, and very limited operation. But if that were to go away, and there weren't any other options, then I think that would open the door.
Yeah, there's probably just enough to keep you guys hanging on, and so nobody pays attention to it. But I don't know. You may end up with some people up there that are very interested in it, and that might motivate somebody to take the lead on it.
Well, I think, beyond me, there's several hundred homes, so, the properties are bigger pieces of property, but still, everybody wants it.
Yeah, well, it's kind of a vital thing anymore.
And given the reliability of the current system, the copper system's really poor. It just doesn't work well. So I don't know what it's going to take.
Well, it'll have to be some kind of infrastructure that's wired in, with whatever they choose to wire it with. But because I can't see in your area them using, microwaves to do it. There's just too many trees and not line of sight. Some of the flat towns in some of the other states, they'll just use. In fact, they do it in Reno. They'll use microwaves to do it, to get it off, to get it to a mountaintop, or to get it from one area to another. But it's got to be line of sight to do that.
Yeah, that wouldn't work for us. It would, because it snakes around the hills and so forth. We're on a plateau, which is fine, but it wouldn't work for the rest of the people.
I think the office, we have something called Skywire or something like that. It's just a local company here, and that's exactly what they do. They microwave it off of Red Peak over to our office, and we pay like a couple $100 a month for 15 megs a second, which is like 3 times what we were getting, or maybe 4 times. So it's fast enough to use, but it's not anything like what I have.
A couple $100 a month for 15?
Yeah, because they're not competing against anything except dial-up, which is very slow.
Wow, that's pricey.
Yeah, and that's how they do it. They service areas where there is nothing else, and it's a nice business for them. But there's just lots of areas in Reno that were never wired for cable, and they're probably not going to be for a long time.
Wow, okay, I didn't realize that. I thought Reno was pretty much wired up.
Well, the newer areas are, but the older areas are, where the properties are spread out a little bit more, kind of like where you are. They're not, because it's just not dense enough.
Yep. Well, I don't look for any changes. So of course, if it were all burned up and they had to start over, then that might induce them to make things different, or at least run fiber where they have, I've got huge 4 copper cables in the front here going by that are like 2 inches or so in diameter. Thousands of pairs.
That seems like such a waste, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah. I mean, it could be totally replaced, but, you'd have to replace the rest of the infrastructure, but if all of that had to be replaced, then you'd do it, because it would save you money, and, having to replace all the copper would be more expensive.
Well, they had to replace the infrastructure out here before we moved out here. There was a big fire out here, and the cable company had to replace their whole infrastructure. So that's probably one reason it works so well out here. It's all new.
Yeah, that'll make a difference.
Well, yeah, especially for like what you have, because they're being used for something that they never even thought about was a possibility. Had no idea it didn't even exist at the time that was put in.
Yeah, they haven't done any. There's been no improvement in infrastructure since I've been here, which is 15 years. So they're living on stuff that was probably last updated in the 70s or something like that.
Yeah, and that was probably designed for maybe a bandwidth of 1,500 kilohertz or something, you know.
Well, now voice is 3,000, so basically voice systems.
Yeah, that's what I meant. But it's just something for a very narrow bandwidth and nothing else, and it didn't have to be ultra, you know, clean or anything, because, you know, just clicks or pops and voice doesn't matter.
Yeah, they have to deliver decent audio with minimal loss. The voice circuit, 300 to 3,000. And they probably have some lease circuits and other things to go through here, but by and large, they're all regular copper drop. And of course, they're constantly working on it. They're having to spend a lot of money, you know, keeping it running from erosion issues and you know, bad pairs all the time, and they're probably running out of pairs or have a long time ago.
Yeah, and then you know, you have all the issues just in their boxes where, you know, connections at the switches and everything else.
Yep, that's it. So, yeah, we'll see.
All right, well, I'm going to get out of here, John. S is up, and I'm going to go get some breakfast and chat with her for a little bit.
Yep, got to do the same thing here. Take care. Good talking to you this morning. Sounding good. When do you think you're going to get that other one back?
Next week, sometime it'll be here.
I look forward to hearing it.
Yeah, I told him yes, so it'll get probably shipped on Monday, I guess, or something.
If you're happy with it, that's the way to go.
Yep. Okay, John. Good talking to you, and we'll catch you later. KM6CQ.
W6DAX.